Hi, everybody. Today we're joined by Kunal, who recently scored a 715 on the GMAT after 8 months of prep. He's here to walk us through his journey today, what worked, what didn't, and how he improved by 100 points between his two attempts. So let's dive right in and learn from his experience. Thank you so much, Kunal, for joining today. Tell us a
Uh,
little bit about yourself.
yeah, thank you, Selby, for the introduction. I'm Kunal. I'm 27, and I currently live in India, Delhi. Right, I'm currently working as a software developer. So, like last year, I've always wanted to do an MBA after like 4 or 5 years of experience. I currently hold 5 years of experience. Right. So last year I decided I should take my GMAT and then proceed for MBA. Right. So basically, I took my first mock in February of this year, right, around January last week or February first week. Yeah. So I scored around 545 in that, the mock with a free mock on the GMAT platform, right? Yeah. After that, I thought like obviously I would need. I gave around 10 to 15 days with self prep and everything, and I realized like self prep is not the thing for me, right? Because I'm working a full time job, so I thought like this might not be a good fit for me. So I should take a full course so that I can actually prepare better. So I bought a course, a 6 months pre-recorded course with the top 1%, right? And yeah, after that I started my journey. I took my first mock in July this year, right? July 25, right? So I scored around 615 in that. So yeah, after analyzing it and after seeing the score, I was I can do better, right? And um, for like I took a vacation for 5 6 days after the exam to wind up the things and think about it how I'm gonna do it again, because I knew I had to do it because actually I was hoping for something like 660 70 kind of a score, right? I was hoping for that, I was aiming for that, but 615 was way lower than what I was aiming or what I was hoping, right? So yeah, I took a vacation. I came back. I knew what I had. I talked to some of my friends. I talked to people, and also I went to GMAT Club and everything. So I realized what I had to do in the next. I don't know. Like I was actually hoping for it will be a 30 days prep, but obviously because of my job, because of my full time job, I had some time constraints. So I had to take like 2 months of gap between that, between July and August. Like I took my text like second attempt on the September second week, right? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's been my journey. And like in September attempt, I scored 715. Yeah, that was like more than what I have worked for.
Wow moment.
Yeah,
And
what
wait,
actually that.
so in Feb, you took your first mock, correct? That's when you
Yeah.
started your whole GMAT prep journey. And then you took your second mock in June, correct?
No, so I took my first mock, yeah, in February, which I scored 545. Then after I prepared for like 3 4 months, then I took my second free mock in June. Then I
Mm-hmm.
took my paid mock, the 3 4 5 mock 5 3 4 5 6 in the June only, right? And
Yeah.
after that, I just directly jump onto my GMAT on. I think I took it on 1st or 2nd of July only. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I would say that was one of my first mistake that I did while my prep. Right. What I did was I bought the paid mocks like mock 3 4 5 6, right, and I started. I took the mocks and I guess in less than 10 days, right. In the last week of June, I took it like I would take a mock. I would like just analyze it I would say a little bit only, not deep. I was not deeply analyzing that, like what are the mistakes I'm doing or whatever. And then I would take another, and another. And after my last mock, after 1 or 2 day, I just took my exam. Yeah, basic. So yeah, that was my first mistake. I didn't, focus on my, errors, or I didn't check my logs. I didn't work on what mistakes I was been making in the in the entire journey. So yeah, I would say that was my first mistake, which I actually realized after my first exam, first attempt actually.
I see. So I mean, I checked out your debrief. Like actually your quant skills are quite great, right? Because of your
Yeah,
background and so on and so forth. So, but then your quant section in your first attempt did not go well, right?
yeah,
I think you scored Q83 in your first attempt.
yeah.
What happened?
So, okay. So like I've always been a maths guy, so yeah, quant has to be my strongest section. Like I hoped it would be my strongest section, right? And I'm engineer by like I did my graduation in engineering, right? So I thought like quant should be an easy thing for me, but obviously like I prepped a little, like I did my prep for 3 4 months. I did good in quant actually, right? And I was scoring I guess 86, 85 or something like that in my mock paid mocks actually, right? So I was like, yeah, at least I have to score like 87 or 88 in quant actually, right? So that was my I would say dream. Okay, I have to do this in quant, right? So when I saw a quant 83 in my first attempt, I was like just literally heartbroken that like I just I can do better in quant, right? So after my vacation, when I came back, I opened that score calculator on online, and I checked it like uh, with 1 point increase, I can increase my score by 10 points, right? Something like that. So yeah, I aim for like I have to get quant 90. That I don't know how you can call it egoistical, or maybe I don't know, but yeah, I dreamed like I have to get quant 90, not because like just to feel get myself feel better for myself, not because it would be amazing or something, but yeah, so that's why.
I think I I think it definitely hurt your ego just a little bit,
Yeah,
just a tad bit.
yeah, just a
How
bit,
did
yeah,
I manage to get a Q83? But
yeah,
do
right,
you
right.
feel like you took your quant section lightly the first time around? Is that what happened?
So, okay, I would take you through it. So, basically, when I was taking my mocks, right, what I noticed, I had like 10 to 12 minutes left in my quant section, right? So, what I would do, like, I would see a question, I would solve it. So, basically, I could solve all the questions, right, if given enough time. There was this thing, right? But what I was doing, I was like doing some small, silly mistakes in, each and every like many questions actually, and that was the same thing with my mocks, right? With the mocks I took, but as I said, I didn't deeply analyze it. So after my first attempt, I decided like these silly mistakes have to stop, because I know all the concept, I know all the formulas of whatever, like how to solve these questions, what are the way to solve those questions, right? So like between my first and second attempt, I analyzed my mocks. I, created another error log, like how what silly mistakes I'm doing in quant, right? And I decided if I have 10 to 20, 12 minutes extra in my quant section, like I'm saving that 10 to 12 minutes. Instead of that, what I can do is I used to like mark an answer, and after that, I will read the question again. I would solve it again, like not not like the first time, but within like 10 to 20 seconds, I would read it again, and I would solve it again on in my mind or maybe on the paper, and I would recheck my answer. So I actually rechecked, I guess, all of my answers again, right, before my like in my second attempt, and also I also actually marked for review all the questions which I had doubt ki, they might go wrong, or I might have made some silly mistakes here. So yeah, so in my second attempt, I had like I had like 3 or 4 minutes left on my section. So I had like two or I guess two questions to review. I reviewed them, right? So they were actually correct. I just had to review the answers. Like I didn't do any silly mistake yet again. So yeah, that that went that way. So
So overall, like it was a problem of just solving too quickly, not double
yeah,
checking what you did, and it was just silly errors, but nothing to do with like the basics and the knowledge you had for quant, right?
Yeah. So one particular topic which I think, actually two particular topics which I think I was lacking in. One of them was again permutations and combinations. Yeah, the combinatorics. Yeah, I think that's like maybe the hardest part. Actually, for me, I would say that this is maybe the hardest part. And there were these questions with the stats actually, like the mean, median, mode questions. So I would make again silly mistakes in those because obviously concept wise I knew what are the concept, how do you calculate mean, median, or mode, or what are the conditions, whatever. But like I was just I don't know, making some mistakes in them, and I'm like marking the incorrect answer. So yeah, with combinatorics, I still remember I went to GMAT Club. I found a page with from Brunel actually. He wrote great articles on probability, permutations and combinations, right? And with all the questions listed, like it had like I don't know 50 plus questions at least, and it was 7 or 8 articles, I guess. So I went through them one by one. I solved them, and like learned them again. I like kind of relearned the entire permutation and combination section. So yeah, then yeah, it got better actually. Yeah, after that I did some, after that in my mocks, I think I didn't do any mistake in PNC again. I'm not sure actually, but yeah, it got better actually with after my first attempt. After I did that Brunel cheat on GMAT Club.
I see. Yeah, no, Manuel is the genius, right, on our forums.
Yeah, he
So
is.
all of his content really helps a lot of students. Um,
Yeah.
when it came to section order as well, did you change your section order, or you took quant first in both attempts?
Like in both the attempts, I would do like quant, then I would do DI, then I would do bubble. In my mocks, I was doing the same thing. Like I'm like I like um, as I talked to some people, they even suggested that I should start with something I'm not good at. So that would be I don't know bubble majorly, right? But I would say I don't know. That was my intuition that I should start with something I'm good at, so that take a thing off my head first, right? So quant was that thing I think I'm good at it and it would be easier for me. So I would first take the quant and be done with it, and after that I would move to di, then after that I would move to bubble. So basically top, then
Understood.
medium, then lower. Yeah.
Understood. So from July till September, I saw that your score improved by around 100 points, which is an incredible jump. What do you think you changed in those 2 months? Like, of course, you started now focusing more on like quant, and you really wanted to get that Q90, which you did. But what about like
Yeah.
the other sections? Like, because it's all about balance as well. Like, how did you
Right,
balance
right.
now everything at the same time?
Okay. Okay. So for quant, I've told you what I did, right? I found those mistakes and I like worked on them. So as I mentioned earlier, also one mistake what I was doing, I was not analyzing my mistakes properly, right? So yeah. So first of all, for like I would start with the bubble section. So in bubble, I knew I scored 81, I guess. Not sure, like I forgot the actual score, but yeah, maybe close to 81 or 70,
It
81
was
or
V
80 in the
V81.
yeah, in the first attempt, right? So I was hoping that I could, jump 2 or 3 points in that, right? So that like I was hoping for 2 or 3 points jump only in the bubble section. So what I started in the bubble section is I started analyzing my mocks, which I've given earlier, right? So I saw one common mistake was in the critical reasoning part. So, okay. So what I was doing is I was not actually grabbing, the idea of the passage or idea of the passage, right? What I would do is I would mark an answer which sounded correct to me but was not actually correct, right? I know this is wrong after I took like I obviously took some classes as well. So I should not have done it, but deep down, I don't know. I was still doing it in my mocks, and maybe I didn't catch the problem at the right time, right? So after my first attempt, when I analyzed them, so actually I deeply analyzed them. And my one friend told me that you are not analyzing correctly. That's your problem. First of all, you have to do that. So I started analyzing my mocks and my questions and my error logs. So I analyzed that, and I started working on my critical reasoning section. So again, for that, I would take a question which I've done wrong, then I would try to find its explanation on GMAT Club. So on GMAT Club or on Google, right? Sometimes I've also used AI for that, like help me, make me understand this passage, what it's trying to say, or what's the main idea of the passage or whatever, right? So yeah, after I started grabbing my problems, so one of the major problem was I was actually selecting an answer which was sounding good to me but was not actually the correct answer. So yeah, I think I've like improved a bit on that, right? And after that, on the RC side I was doing, I would say, quite average. I was not very good at it, and also I was not very bad at it. So between first or second attempt, I didn't do. I won't say I did major, like major practice on that. Although I practice one or two passages every day, so that to keep the momentum going, right? So yeah, and also I don't think like I have like upgraded much of it in the bubble. Like yeah, but I would say in the second attempt, I was also amazed that I scored an 86, because because in my mocks I was scoring 83, 84, 83, 84 kind of scores. So I was also hoping in the actual attempt it would be 83, 84 only. So yeah,
I'm sure it must have
and
been a shocker then to see the V86 appear.
yeah,
Like, what? Like, how
yeah,
did that
yeah. I
happen?
mean, yeah, actually, I was shocked. Like 86, and we are like, because to be honest, it was not my strongest suit, right? Uh,
Yeah.
talk, Talking about the DI section, in DI also I was with the two kind of problems, right? The math related problems and the non math related problems, right? So with the math related problem, again I was making some silly mistakes, right? Maybe sometimes with calculation. I even remember in one mock, I actually marked, I calculated the right answer, right? It was a two-part analysis question, I guess. So like I had to mark A in something and C in the second part. I actually did the opposite. So yeah, that level of silly mistakes I was doing just because I was trying to be fast. I don't like. I mean, I'm not sure what I was doing, right? So yeah, I worked on that, and also again, math related problem. I think I was thinking like would go easy on me, but yeah, there's that. And for the non-math related problem, again I was making mistakes with the inference questions, specifically with the inference questions, right? So with the inference part, again, I would not say I did something extraordinary here. I just practiced a lot, and not in the sense like I did n number of questions. I just did hardly I did like 30 or 40 questions in that 2 months of a span, but those 30, 40 questions and also the mock questions, I would go deeply into them. I would check explanations of other people on GMAT Club only, or with an AI, right? I would check the explanation and like try to find an explanation which would I would say which I can understand, because like not every explanation you can understand, right? Sorry. So yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
It's,
So yeah,
I d-
I think
I did see though, like your in your DI, like you went from a D78 to a D90, which is like again, I feel
No,
like both your DI and oh no?
D80 actually. Yeah.
Oh, it was D80. Okay, so from a D80 to a D90, and
No, no, no.
even in
From
quant,
in D from 78 to 80 only.
yeah, yeah. In data insights, you went from a DI 78 to a DI 90, correct?
DI 80 from 78
Oh,
to 80.
okay.
180.
I
Yeah.
was like, that's a
Sorry.
yeah. Sorry, so
No,
sorry.
no.
So, I mean, that is interesting. Okay, so it was not like a huge jump then,
Yeah.
as I thought. It
Yeah.
was a decent jump.
Yeah.
But what what was like because is it do you think you could have done it better? Like why was it just this much of a jump between the two attempts?
Okay, I would tell you my test story, my second attempt story, right? So basically, what happened? DI, as I said, I would first start with Quant, then I took on DI, right?
Hmm.
When I started my DI section, I was like, I think I was getting very hard questions. So like, I gave them a lot of time. I like wasted a lot of time, I would say, because by the time I had around 2 minutes left, I had four questions left on the like I had four questions left and just 2 minutes left on the bank, right, on the time bank. So what I did was I just marked any answer I could, like any answer, right? I didn't even read the last four questions on the DI, right? I just marked them, and so that like I don't have any unanswered questions, because in one of my mock I had one unanswered question, and I realized what the penalty was, because it at least had like 20 to 30 points of penalty, I'm sure, right? So yeah, I marked all the four questions, and then I had like I'm not sure, like 1 or 1.5 minutes remaining. I went back to the questions, but I actually changed the answer for one of them, and then I submitted my section. Yeah, submitted my DI section. So yeah, obviously it's not a good jump, but I think like I'm like it's just I think that I start like there was some hard questions for me in the DI section, so I like gave them a lot of time. So I might have maybe managed my time well, or maybe I don't know, started started in a good way, maybe like I think so. Yeah, I could have done a 2 or 3 points increase at least in the DI also. But yeah, I'm
Hmm.
happy with my score, what what
Yeah,
I
I
got.
mean,
So
in the end, you got a good score, right? So even though you didn't increase by a drastic amount, it still worked out for you. Um, and when you were like prepping for those 2 months, like you have mentioned how you started analyzing your question, like answers better, you would
Mhm.
go way too deep into it and figure it out. In terms of like your the prep resources you use and your study routine, did anything else change in those 2 months that helped you a lot?
so okay, with the time I gave to my study, it didn't change a lot. So what I would do is I would give around an hour in the morning, right? Then I would go to my office. Then okay, like in the evening I would come back from my office, and I would give around like 1 to 2 hours, like whatever that we felt like, because like if that was a tough day, I would give maybe 1 hour. If that was an easy day, I would give 2 hours. So yeah, 2 to 3 hours in general I would give before the first attempt and after my first attempt also. So with the time I invested, that didn't change. uh, okay, I've told you about the analyzing part. That might have changed a bit, right? Because earlier I was not doing that like in a better way, but I started doing it in a better way after my first attempt, right? Thirdly, okay, sorry,
The
you
study
wanted to
is
know?
the
Yeah,
the study
the study,
resources.
yeah, the resources. So okay, I didn't actually change much of my resources. Earlier I was, as I said, I had a top 1% course. I started with that, took my first attempt, and after that I used those resources for another, I think 15 or 20 days. Right after that, actually, my access got expired. I took an 6 months course, right? So it expired in August, I guess, right? Yeah, from Feb to August, I guess. Yeah, 6 months is it expired in August, like in mid of August, somewhere that way. After that, I started like I started selecting questions from the OGs on the GMAT Club with the filters, right? So I would find the OGs question and I would try to solve them. I would try to, analyze the question, like what the question is actually trying to conceptualize, right? Because someone actually told me that there are hardly 200 to 300 questions on on an OG book, right? And every question has a concept in it, and they would like try to, ask you from that only, right? So nothing like not ask, but like the questions may be, jumbled from those only. So like the concept will be same from them. So I thought like let's analyze the OG first. So I would go on to GMAT Club. I would try to find OG questions with the filters, and I would try to solve them and analyze them. And I actually used to solve them with the timer, right? So that I can solve them within within 2 minutes actually.
Makes sense. And so these were the major two resources. You first covered, I think, your basics with top 1%. The moment it
Yeah,
expired, you were like, okay, like now my course is over, but I still have one more month. Let me go
yeah,
and just keep practicing as many official questions as I can. But I think the crux of like your entire study prep was in terms of analyzing your answers, right?
yeah,
I think that majorly helped you really like understand everything and take it slow and, you know, recheck your answers. Um,
yeah,
when it came to your mocks, because I think you said in before your first attempt you took like the paid mocks. So
yeah.
how many mocks were you left with before your second attempt, and how did you use them? And did you use any other mock tests from other companies?
No, so okay. Before my first attempt, I actually took all the mocks, like mock 1 to 6, right? After my first attempt, you can actually, restart the paid mocks. You can take the paid mocks twice actually. So I would just reset them and use them again, right? And also one more thing, I was actually planning to take my second attempt in August, but I was not ready. Like I felt I was not ready. That's why it got delayed for 2 3 weeks actually. So yeah, there was that. Um, yeah,
Did you use any
yeah.
other mocks from other brands?
So, okay, as I said, I had the course from top 1%, right? So I took one or two marks from them, right? Before my first attempt. After my first attempt, I
Mhm.
didn't took any other marks actually, because as you can see, like I had data from four marks before my first attempt, which I haven't analyzed, right? I took
Mm,
four marks after my first attempt, so I had 8 marks, and I would say a lot of data to analyze for myself, like to find what I'm doing wrong or how can I improve, right? And I would say I had a friend, and she just said me, she just told me upfront, like you are not just analyzing it right, you are doing something
mm,
wrong. Because she said like you have all the concepts, you have all the knowledge. I mean, knowledge as in what are the questions that are going to be asked, right?
correct.
So you can improve, you are just doing something wrong with the, like, with finding your mistakes. So yeah, so that
What was
actually like
that though? Like when you were analyzing your answers, what was the biggest
Mhm.
problem that you were like, doing like that made you get a lower score? What was that problem exactly? Was it your basics? Was it time management? Silly
uh
mistakes?
okay, so with like I think we had like a long discussion on the quant part. As I said, that was majorly silly mistake. First it was silly mistake, second maybe a bit with the concepts for this combinations and
Yeah,
permutations, right? The PNC topics, right? So as I said, I like tried to improve on that. I learned that
correct.
and tried to improve on that. So that was the quant section for me. With the bubble, again the CR part was like, I was like, I would say like, I was doing it all wrong, right? From I don't like from I think there are like 6 or 7 questions from that part, and I was just hardly doing one or two correct in that, right?
Oh,
So
wow.
so I think I was doing like a lot of it wrong, right? So obviously after my first attempt, I realized that at least I cannot do the 7 questions correct, but I can at least do 5 or 6 correct, right? So that would
Hmm.
maybe improve my score to 2 3 points, right? So yeah,
Correct.
there was that. So there was that. Uh, Other than
But
that, in
yeah, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
so yeah, I was saying, like, other than that, in the RC section, I won't say I improved that much. I was like quite an average person in that before my first attempt and in my second attempt also. But maybe I don't know, maybe a 5 or 10% increase. I'm not sure, but I just didn't stop practicing that. I used to practice one or two passes every day so that I don't forget like how to do it, or
Correct.
how not how to do it, but how to do it fastly actually. Yeah.
Fast. Yeah. That's interesting. One thing that like I've noticed with your story is, unlike a lot of other students that we've done debriefs with, a lot of students, what they do is when they're not getting something right, they're gonna keep trying more questions from different resources, from here, there, everywhere. And unlike them, like you only stuck with two, covering your basics with top 1%, and then just continue practicing and analyzing, practicing. Like that's actually quite good. Like you did something that a lot of students take more time to
Yeah.
understand. Um, but other than these two things, like any other prep resources that you managed to use, any videos you watched or anything as such, or these were the main two things?
Like I won't say I haven't watched any videos. Like, obviously, like as a student, you feel overwhelmed with the practices, and you want something to fix anything fast, and there are a lot of videos on YouTube with that, right? So I actually found a video. Actually forgot the title, but it was from Murray. Murray is also on GMAT Club.
Marty Murray. Yeah,
Marty
yeah,
Murray,
yeah.
right? Yeah. He's also on GMAT Club. He answers a lot of questions, right? Lot of
Correct.
verbal questions actually, and
Correct. Correct. Correct.
like uh, like when I used to see the solutions on the GMAT Club, I used to see his name quite often, and his explanations were quite detailed, and I would like easily understand them, right? So it was a 2 to 3 hours of video for the reasoning and critical reasoning and the verbal section, right? So I'm not like I actually forgot the name of the video, right? It was also on, I guess, on the GMAT Club only, like on the GMAT Club YouTube channel only, right? So yeah, I watched it, and I think like that helped me a bit, right? Because it had some things regarding like the problems I was facing with the critical reasoning section, right? So yeah, I watched it, and with the for the probability, I also watched some videos also, like apart from the Burnell articles and everything. I watched some videos, for the basic concepts, right? I would try to find like PNC for school students or something, so that so to, cover up my basics actually. I think like I was making mistake in PNC basics only, so I would try to find YouTube videos with PNC for school students or maybe high school students, and then I would try to find something, but yeah. So yeah, those are the only other videos or resources or courses, whatever you call it, I checked on YouTube, apart from the top 1% course. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that's great to know. I mean, I think we covered the gist of like your prep journey, the resources you used, the mocks you took. Let's actually talk now about the exam day experience, not of your first, but of your second. But you can also actually talk about your first, like anything that changed during your exam day, and Hopefully, no mishaps, but how did it go?
Okay, so yeah, the first exam was like again in a PSN PSN center in my city only, right? So so during my first exam, I would say I was not very. I didn't have much anxiety on my first attempt actually, right? I was feeling quite relaxed that I can, do it, and I'm gonna crush it or something like I had that feeling that day, right? And to be honest, I had that feeling that day. And, but after like I took my exam, it was quite a good experience. So there was no hiccups whatsoever, right? I took my exam and the number popped on my screen. I was like, you know, so okay. After like watching that on the screen, I like came out of the exam hall, did my formalities, right? I was quite, like I felt like I can't do it, man. Like after this preparation, if I go, I go, and like, and I was much more concerned ki, you know, like I amped up my quant section. Like I need to do better on my quant section. This or that and something like that. And yeah, I talked to my friend and she confirmed, like she talked to me for an hour or something. She was like you can do it, and we'll do it. You can do it another attempt after a month. You book your another exam. I didn't book it right away, right? But yeah, she told me she guided me well. All thanks to her actually. Like yeah. So she guided me well, and she told me about those things. Okay, I have to analyze or like what are the mistakes I might be making, right? And I showed her my mocks. She told me like this is a repetition in your all the mocks. They said this you has to improve. The PNC section you have to improve. So whatever. So yeah, that was my first attempt experience. In the second attempt, because I took a 2 month long break actually, right? Which I was not planning to, right? But it eventually happened, right? So in my during my second attempt, I had a lot of anxiety, to be honest, right? So yeah, but still I was confident that day, but I had a lot of anxiety ki, I'm not like what I, what will happen if I would get a same score, or I don't know, maybe I f up this thing just like my last attempt. I have I do something wrong with my quant section. I was and I don't know, I would do something wrong with my verbal section. What if I, because I was getting some average score in the verbal section like 82 83 kind of scores, right? So I was like, what if I don't even get the average in the verbal section? What will happen then? And I had a lot of questions, right? Talking about the center, this time I went to the centers. It was like it was actually another center, but within 3 to 4 kilometers from where I live, right? So yeah, the experience was great. I mean, again, there were no hiccups that day also, but yeah, I think then I took my exam with every quant question. I was going like, this has to be correct. This let me recheck that. I had that inner thoughts in my mind with like every question in my quant section. With the DI, as I said, I didn't manage my time well. So with the DI, with as I said, with my DI section, right? So I didn't have much time to recheck the answers, or maybe I didn't even have the time to check my marked questions as well. And with the verbal section, I had like a minute or something left to review my answers, and I don't think I made a change in that, and I actually don't remember now. But yeah, and when I clicked the submit button and I saw the score, I was like,
You're like,
man,
whoa.
I think I did it. I had these two major concerns with me. I have to improve my score in quant and verbal at least, right? So yeah,
Hmm.
I did that.
And you managed to achieve that. I think in a way you manifested that score in your head for those 2 months. Like, I need to
Yeah,
get it. I need to get it, and you actually got it, which is incredible. One thing, like, which is interesting, like a lot of students, and this is something a lot of people say to students, don't have too much anxiety on test day. But in yours, you had less anxiety in your first attempt and more anxiety in your second attempt, but that somehow
yeah,
helped, which
yeah.
is funny.
I think, yeah, I think it helped because, and as you also mentioned, like I was manifesting a way too good score, maybe. So maybe I delayed it a bit also because I should have taken it in August, by August actually, right? But maybe I delayed it a bit, but I don't know if that's okay or not. But yeah, uh, I had anxiety and maybe it helped me do better.
Yeah, I mean, in your sense, I think anxiety could have made you make sure that you double check everything, and you make sure
Yeah,
that what you're doing is not like something quick and silly, but
yeah.
something that's like positively gonna get you the good score you need. Well, I mean, this is incredible. We have, I think, discussed majority of the things, but do you have any advice for test takers who are in the similar path as you?
Uh, yeah, uh, I would say with the one mistake that I did was again analyzing my mistakes, right? And I was not, I would say, writing my errors, right? As I said, my friend, she actually told me, even if you're making a silly mistake, write it down. And so I was just, writing it down like that, silly mistake, right? Marked and wrong answer, made a calculation error. She was like, no, define the error, like in at least, like write it like that in a 2 3 line. Maybe that was overbit, but yeah, she was like, you have to own your mistakes before you can work on them, right? So I like maybe I tried to own my mistakes and started analyzing my mistakes so that I started working on them. I started working on the topics I was making the mistakes in, right? So yeah, that helped me get better by the time. And things take time, I guess. In my case, I took 2 months. Maybe you can take, I don't know, 3 months, 4 months. Whatever works for you works for you. So those, like, it was 2 months for me, and and I would say, like, work on your strong suit, right? I did that, and yeah, I
It
felt
paid
like,
off.
yeah, and it paid off. I knew, I don't know, I knew it or I had it in me ki Quant had to be my best section, right? I have to score a good number in Quant, and I
Mhm.
maybe double down on that, or I don't know. I gave it my all actually, right? And yeah,
It paid
I
off.
got it paid off. I got the 90, like at the best score it can in the Quant section. Yeah.
I feel like the happiest moment was not the actual total score. I think for you it was, I got the Q90. I got the Q90. Tell
Yeah,
me
you
if I'm
can.
wrong.
Yeah, you can say that. I mean, it's like when you work hard on something and you get to see the result of that, right? And specifically of that, because as I said, in between my first and second attempt, instead of focusing on all the things, I just focused on you know improving my quant section and a bit on my bubble section. So like, when it paid off, obviously I have to be happy with that, right?
Of course, of course. You have all the right to be. But I mean, this was awesome, Kunal. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And like, if for everyone who's watching this video, make sure to, of course, like the story so that it reaches more GMAT prep students. And yeah, like check out more debriefs like this on our channel. We have them on a playlist on our homepage. But Kunal, if for example, if somebody wants to reach out to you, is there a way that they can? Of course, they will ask some questions once this live is aired. Um, but is there another way to reach out to you, just in case?
I'm on GMAT Club with the name XYZ Kunal, right? And I can share my email if you want. It's Kunal Kandilwal 6999 at Gmail. You can maybe write it down in the description.
Sure.
They can reach me out there, right?
Perfect.
So
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Thank you so much, Kunal, once again. And for
thank
everyone
you
who's
so
watching, make sure to ask your questions in the comments, and Kunal will try his best to answer them once the
much.
live session is aired. All right. Thank you so much, Kunal. Take care. Have a good
Yeah,
day.
thank you, Selvi. Yeah, have a good day. Bye bye.